and she is with the Richmond Public Schools Department. The title of her speech will be The Power of Unlearning. What if, right? Okay. Now, a few things about Miss Van. She has a genuine love of speaking. She is currently the TV host of Inside RPS, which is a local television show for the Richmond Public Schools that she is the host for. She is the president currently of City Stars Toastmasters, Club 6595. She is working towards her ACB, which is her Advanced Communication Bronze Level certification. And without further ado, I would like to call up Ms. Raina Van.
Thank you to my Toastmaster this afternoon. Good afternoon to our members.
Good afternoon.
I am excited to have you all here this afternoon. This is a powerful opportunity for us to open up our minds, open up our creativity, to unleash the power of unlearning, to think about the what ifs. Oftentimes we get caught up in trying to figure out how to stay in line. When you're a kid, think back to childhood. Our teachers used to have to wrangle us in, call us in line, tell us to sit down, tell us to color inside the lines. And that's one thing that we learned, and we learned very well. We learned it so well that now we have a mental block when it comes to trying to figure out our own creative voice. Now, in front of you, you have a packet. And it starts with a very powerful statement. The statement reads, overcome perfectionism and insecurity. As Toastmasters, we are often faced with the challenge of trying to speak powerfully, speak genuinely, and give and leave an impression that will help motivate others, that will help lead others. However, we get stuck trying to emulate someone else. We think about great speakers that we've heard, whether they're in our club, or great speakers that we've heard nationally, or other individuals that we know, and we think about their voice. We think about the things that they do really well, and we try and model ourselves after that. So that's that learning that I want you to think about. How we are continuously trying to be someone else, but not be as uniquely individual as we are meant to be. One of my favorite books, it's a very simple book. It's called The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. And it goes through this wonderful story with very simple illustrations about how a young girl in class is given the instruction of coming up with something artistic, of drawing something or creating something. And of course she's stuck. Like many of us are when we look at our blank page and we know we have to come up with a speech for our club. We know we have to come up with a speech for our meeting. But we're stuck with trying to figure out what is going to be the most powerful message that they've ever heard. I want to make sure that it is so dynamic that they leave thinking, wow, I need to do something about that. Or wow, maybe I can run that race. And we're so focused on the grandeur of the message that we forget the simplicity of just starting. So the beauty of this particular book, The Dot, is that the student says, okay, let me give it a try. After the teacher says, just put a mark on the page. Just start from there. And that's a wonderful instruction from a teacher, and you have to love teachers because they always have an opportunity to take you somewhere where you've never been, to unleash and help you to unleash what's caught inside of your minds, to make you feel more confident when you walk up to the board, to give you that extra, you can do it. So this particular teacher's simple statement of, put a mark on the page, start from there. And so the student, and her name is Vashti, put a mark on the page and turned it in. Now let me take a step back for a second. Think about the many times that you've been in a position where you thought, okay, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to paint my walls a really fantastic color. And you are so motivated. You've gone through magazines and you've picked out different swatches in your mind. And then you get to the store and you're looking at a plethora of rainbow colors that overwhelm you. And you start gravitating towards this awesome line. And when you put the can of paint in your cart, it's this fabulous beige. Why is that? Why do we always seem to gravitate back towards that safety net, that safety ground, instead of living outside of our minds, living outside of the box, and embracing our dreams? Because we're caught in coloring inside the lines, standing in the straight line, making sure we don't wiggle, squiggle, or make other people feel uncomfortable. But I want you to think about how you can unleash that power inside of you. How you can unlearn what you know you can do. And it's okay. It's okay to still follow the directions. It's okay to still follow the rules. I'm not saying drive down the street the wrong way. There are certain rules of the road that we know we need to follow. And then there are certain times when that can of lime paint is what you really should have bought. So when you get home, instead of saying, what if that can of paint won't work in that room, we have a room that makes us smile. And instead of worrying about, what if my friends come over and say, that is really green, and you feeling like shrinking back and going back to that beige, you say, you know what it is? Don't you love it? And then they step back and say, you know what, I do. And I love it in you. I love the fact that you always seem to do what you want to do. You always seem to bring out that power. You feel confident enough to cut your hair off when everybody else is walking around with curly locks. You feel confident enough to give that speech that says something that makes people feel uncomfortable, but in a good way, that teaches them, that leads them, or maybe that makes them laugh, and you're really not that funny. So try the joke. Say something clean, but say something funny. Do something better than you would have done it before. Think outside of the box. And be pleasantly surprised like Vashti was when she walked into her teacher's classroom and she saw her picture framed. And it was simply a dot. She was so encouraged by that that she said, I can do better than that. I know I can make a fabulous dot. So she began making these amazing dots, wonderful dots, dots that started to look like rainbows inside of themselves. And if you look inside of your picture, of your packet, on the very last page, you'll see a representation. You can't help but love this dot. Here Vashti is, this miniature person standing next to a sun-colored, rainbow-hued, vibrant, warm dot. A dot. Don't think that what you have to say, what you can do, and the mark that you can make in this world is too small. Everything starts with a single breath, a single step, a single mark. Remember to unleash the power of unlearning in a way that moves you. Because what if you don't? Mr. Toastmaster?